Investors, April 1st, April Fool's edition. Today, let's start with the SMH. Today we got a small bounce in SMH. We see it did respect this trend line I had previously drawn with the three bounces. And so we're looking at this carefully. We want to monitor this price action. It's neither bullish nor bearish right now. We might get some sideways trading in the next couple days, and then maybe there'll be a relief rally, or maybe not. So we will see if that's on the cards. If there's a relief rally. One thing that gives me hope that there may be a relief rally is that we do have this accumulation, which is clearly increasing, right? So, and it's even more than in this area here. In fact, if you look at that top, it almost looks as that that's the now the support. So the accumulation is kind of hanging around maybe this area or even a little higher. So uh, if I had to guess, my guess would be that we're headed up. But again, we don't guess; we just play the tape. So if we see a bounce, I think we'll come back up and kind of mosey along this price for a little bit of time, and then we will either break even higher up to all-time highs, or we'll kind of had a period of consolidation, and then maybe a breakdown even over here in 2026. So we'll see what happens, but the accumulation actually looks good right now. Accumulation distribution looks good. So SMH just like kind of mirroring um, the Qs. So if we looked at the Qs, we're seeing the same kind of bounce there, and it's up a little bit. So it's the same kind of chart. And SPY, same thing. I said that we'd kind of have this period of consolidation maybe, and then we either head higher or head lower. We do have the gaps below, but it doesn't mean that we can't, have a bounce up and maybe even make new all-time highs. So yeah, in the Great Depression, people thought that they were getting in at the top, but are shorting close to the top, and it just kept on going and going higher and higher. The valuations we might anticipate something similar here, where we just get higher, climb this excitement wall after some events are cleared out, or maybe not. Maybe something takes us lower. So we want to just pay attention to this price action and this level of consolidation and see, does it break below? Does it go above? Right? So let's take a look at a couple of stocks that I've been looking at recently. Is Hain. Hain, I think, is in a consolidation period, and will head higher. I don't know if it'll follow this exact pattern, but I do think that this has a couple big gaps, and one of them I think might be filled is this one at 16 for Hain. So we'll keep an eye on that. Farm is kind of dilly-dallying. It's not doing much. We're seeing that there's no cross here, so we saw this come back down. So there's not much to see in farm. Let's check out Bitcoin. Bitcoin, like the Nas, is flat. There's nothing, no price action here. There's some negative negative downside risk to here. Some people are saying this is a bear flag pattern right here. So you have this low, you come back up, and then you have this kind of bear flag from, it looks like, let's call it 98,000 to the bottom of the pole is 76,000. So 12,000 would be the move. So If there's another 12,000 lower from here, we're at 73,000 if it breaks lower. So 73,000 would literally put us right in the middle of where I drew this blue consolidation area that we want to see. Okay, it comes down and then consolidates. Does it go break even lower and touch this long-term support, or does it break higher? I tend to think that Bitcoin might pop on a good day and then head lower. This price action doesn't have to happen right away. It could happen over here, maybe even it might be a couple weeks here where we see some consolidation and then a break lower. But yeah, Bitcoin does not look like a bullish chart. Although one thing that we should be concerned with is the accumulation. We're seeing accumulation is even higher now than it was back when it hit the peak, which is suggesting there might be a reversal pattern in here that's hidden inside here. So yeah, if this heads lower and the accumulation heads higher, it might be a good buying opportunity actually for Bitcoin. So we'll have to watch this one right now. See what happens. See gold down marginally. Again, we're in a topping pattern. Even though we got record accumulation, I think gold is in a topping pattern and is likely to head lower in the next couple of years. So maybe 1 to 2 years lower. Short term, it looks too hot to handle. I'm completely not suggesting this to anyone, gold at this point in time. But yeah, just wait and see. Let's check out the big one, NVIDIA. NVIDIA looks like bearish chart for now, though we might be hitting a little support here. So we got lower lows and lower highs, which is typically a bearish pattern happening here. Again, MACD looks bearish, a flat accumulation, which is not great. So it's not a very bullish chart. In fact, I would argue that this is more of a bearish chart right now than a bullish chart. If we pull up the simple moving averages, SMAs, let's take a look at a couple of SMAs here. Okay, let's go with, let's see here if I can get this to work. Well, you see one SMA here is just giving me a 9. Let me turn that one off. And we'll look at this SMA. You see it below this SMA right here, right? But there was a cross here, a bearish cross called a death cross between the 50 and 200. We could see that on, I did one on Yahoo Finance, and we saw that, yeah, let's take a look at this on Yahoo Finance. Yeah, we got that death cross right here. So we see the death cross happen, and usually when the death cross happens, there's a pop, and indeed it popped, and then it went straight back down. Now we may see increased volatility here. It may head a lot lower. We see a big gap in the chart. Going back to trading view for a second, there's a big gap here in the chart. If we look at maybe the hourly, yeah, it was right around here. So 32. There's a big gap at 32. So is it possible to come down all the way back down to 32? I think so, but it's going to take down the NASDAQ with it. It's going to take down a whole bunch of stuff with it. So what I think will probably be the most likely scenario for NVIDIA is that we have some period of consolidation here, and that we see most likely a breakdown, okay? But it's going to be hard to say when that breakdown will occur. So it's very hard to trade this, I would say. But this is just the overall price action that we keep in mind. I think Nike today showed a little signs of life, but you see it's in this huge descending triangle pattern. I think that will get a bounce further here, maybe up to here, 77, something like that. But it looks like, if we can finally get down here and break out of this descending triangle, that's bullish. So it looks like we might even have an Elliott wave in here. Let's check it out. So we got potential Elliott wave. Yeah, so it looks like we got an Elliott wave here. So I would suspect that there may be a surprise coming in the earnings release. I don't play earnings, but I'm just saying there could be a surprise here to the upside. But the consumers continue to be pressured. We'll see it fall even lower. It's already taken a massive hit. How many more hits can Nike take? I'm not sure. But if it breaks below this line, this bottom line, that's bearish. I would stay away. So as soon as it breaks away down this line, I'd stay away from this stock completely if it breaks below. But if it holds in there and starts to pop higher, breaks this line to the upside with conviction, we want to get in. So that's what we want to see here. So another one is Louis Vuitton, but Louis Vuitton is again struggling. There's a big gap here at 100. I think we'll get the fill for that. Again, with some volatility. It's a great long-term stock to own. I just think it's too consumer discretionary right now, and I think we're headed lower in Louis Vuitton. I think we're probably headed back to 100, which is not outrageous. It's about 20% lower than right now. But if you're willing to hold this stock for the long haul, buying it at 100 is probably a decent idea. Same thing with Nestle. If you're willing to buy it for the long haul, it's probably even a good buy here, though there are multiple gaps down. So I would wait for this price action to gas out. Maybe we get a gap fill at 106. I don't know, but I think that it's kind of gassed out for the short term. I think we'll come back down, retest this, and then we'll head back up. So, my prediction is there'll be some consolidation, breakdown, and then we'll have some consolidation period in here, and we'll head higher in the long run. So that's my take on Nestle. So these are a few names today that I wanted to go over with you guys. Like, subscribe, comment, and let the market be with you. Take care.